In Limpopo, there's been a story brewing for quite a few years about pension money owed to people who work for the company Great North Transport. It's a bus company. The claim from the workers seems to be that 300 million rand of their pension money has gone missing. It was used, they say, it was used to fund the day-to-day running of the company. In other words, instead of their deductions going to their pension fund, it went to the company and was used by the company's management. Patrick Monkoe is the spokesperson for Great North Transport. Patrick, good afternoon to you. This claim's been around for a long time. Are we any closer to finding out what's happened?
Well, Stephen, let me first of all appreciate the opportunity that you have given us, as Great North Transport, to come and clarify, these matters. We have done that, over the past few months, but any time when a media house, gives us this opportunity, we really appreciate, because it will also make it possible for us to make a call, to the people that are still not yet claimed their pensions, to come forward. But to respond to your story, to your question, there has never been a 300 million money that was misused by GNT. It is just a fictitious amount that was created, by the media. However, the amount of money that was in the liquidation process is about, 56 million. And to date, as we speak, that money was accounted for, because as soon as, the pension fund decided to terminate us as a result of the cash flow issues that we had, we then went into the liquidation process. Before we did that, the provincial government, appointed a forensic investigation company to look at, all this sort of allegations that money was, misused for operations. And the report came out, that all the monies of those pension funds were accounted for. And therefore, at the end of the liquidation process, the employees themselves, opted to take over, their money. And as we speak, that payment process, is underway. I can confidently, tell you, Stephen, and the viewers, that as we speak, about 50 million of the 56 million has been paid. And as we are speaking, every day, applications are being processed. And we believe that, in the few weeks that are coming, we should, be able to, to process, everyone that is still outstanding.
Okay, so just to be clear, people who paid, so you would have paid workers their salaries, you would have made deductions.
Yes.
That money then went to the pension fund, right?
Yes.
So all of it went to the pension fund. It didn't go anywhere else, it went to the pension fund. Stephen, as I'm saying, we as a company, we have acknowledged that there was a time when we had a cash flow, problem like many bus companies and airlines that go through, these difficulties because of the market conditions. What has happened is that, we acknowledge that we are struggling financially, and that was when the pension fund, decided that they are going to terminate us. Now, as a result of that, we then agreed with the pension fund to put the money into liquidation as a result of the laws that governs, the financial, environment. And then because there was an outcry that there is money that is being mishandled by Great North Transport, the provincial government, remember we are a provincial, entity fully owned by the provincial government. They then appointed a liquidation company a forensic investigation company to look at all these claims and to ensure that all the contributions that were made by the employees can be accounted for. And that report was made available, is available for anyone who wants to have it, which guaranteed that there was no money that was stolen. The entire, fund, is still intact. However, when we were taking these employees into the new pension fund, they opted to take their money, to get paid their money, instead of actually transferring that money into the new pension fund. And this is the 56 million that I spoke about, that to date as we speak, about 50 million of that money has been processed, is in the pockets of the beneficiaries, being those that went on pension and those that are still working within the company. The rest of the people that are remaining, we are processing on a daily basis. There will be a process of verification, obviously. There will be a process of making sure that each one of them, complies with the tax, regime, etc., etc. But so far, we are very, very satisfied, and we are very, very happy with the way that we are handling this process and how people are responding.
Okay, so there's a lot going on here. Did the workers just misunderstand what was happening? And Patrick, I mean, pension stuff dribbles me. It confuses me very easily. Did people not realize where their money was and that this was, in fact, their pension?
Stephen, you would agree and appreciate that, in every pension scheme, you would have, the board of trustees. And among the board of trustees, you would have trade unions that are representing, the employees. So everything else that has happened, whether investigation or whether, the liquidation process, they've been consulted. And that is why we are making a call to say anyone who believes that they are affected or they were affected by this particular, liquidation should actually visit our office, or they can, independently, go to, the pension fund adjudicators who would basically, assist them on the side. Hence, we are very confident that for those that were affected or that are affected, payments are going on, very well. And remember, Stephen, employees do not join the organization as a group. They join as individuals. So therefore, the monies that are paid to them will differ, in terms of the number of years that each, employee served, at GNT.
You made the point that it's been tough times for bus companies, and we saw that with Patco last week. Do you think it's going to be tough times for bus companies for quite a long time to come?
Look, we have got our own, turnaround strategy, and we are implementing the turnaround strategy, and we believe that, if all stay the same, we should be able to really remain sustainable. But remember, Steve, that as I have said, we are a service delivery imperative of government. We are transporting the masses, from the villages, to come to the cities to work and go back into the villages. So the amount of money that you charge these people should be reasonable for them to be able to have their livelihoods. Therefore, us is not to make maximum profits out of the working classes, but us is to make sure that we remain, commercially sustainable, that we can continue to provide, transport services to the people of Limpopo on daily basis to various, work destinations.
Patrick Monkoe, thank you. Spokesperson for Great North Transport. Appreciate you clearing all of that up in a long-running series of claims around that company.